You know, I've been doing this for a long time and I've seen a lot of things. And let me tell you, one thing I've noticed is that a lot of successful women, I mean, really together women, often struggle in their relationships. Now, you might be thinking, Joe, Eric, what's the deal? They've got it all figured out. But that's just it. They've focused so much on their careers, on climbing that ladder, that they haven't always had the time or energy to nurture their relationships. And that can be a real problem. We're going to talk about why having a successful career can actually be a disadvantage for women when it comes to relationships. And I'm not saying it's always the case, but there are some real pitfalls out there. We're going to dive deep into this, folks, so buckle up. This isn't about tearing women down. It's about understanding the challenges they face and hopefully finding some solutions. So let's get real, let's get honest, and let's figure this thing out together. So let's talk about the dating pool. It's a topic that often comes up in conversations, especially among young women who are just starting to explore the world of dating. Now, when you're a young woman starting out, the dating pool seems pretty vast, right? There are so many options, so many people to meet, and it feels like the possibilities are endless. Lots of fish in the sea and all that. You go to parties, social events, and there are always new faces, new opportunities to connect. But here's the thing, as women climb the career ladder, as they become more successful, that pool starts to shrink, and it shrinks fast. The higher you go, the more selective you become, and the fewer people you find who meet your criteria. Think about it. Women are often taught to look for a partner who is at least their equal, if not more successful than them. This societal expectation can make the search even more challenging. Someone who can match their ambition, their drive. Someone who understands the demands of their career and supports their goals. But here's the catch-22. The higher a woman climbs, the fewer men there are who meet those criteria. It's not just about finding someone who is successful, but someone who is also confident and secure in their own achievements. It's a simple numbers game. The pool of potential partners narrows significantly as you rise in your career. There are just fewer men who have reached those same levels of success. And among those who have, not all are looking for a partner who is equally ambitious. And that can create a real dilemma for women. They find themselves in a position where their success, something they have worked so hard for, becomes a barrier in their personal lives. They're successful, they're independent, but they're also looking for a partner who can keep up, and those men can be hard to find. It's a frustrating paradox. And it's not just about the numbers, it's about compatibility. Finding someone who not only matches your success, but also complements your personality and lifestyle. When a woman is killing it in her career, she's not looking for someone who's intimidated by her success. She's looking for a partner who respects her achievements and is proud of her. She's looking for someone who celebrates it, who challenges her, who adds to her life, someone who is a true partner in every sense of the word. But let's be honest, some men, they see a strong, successful woman and they get intimidated. They feel threatened by her accomplishments. They feel like they can't measure up. This insecurity can lead to tension and conflict in the relationship, and that creates a whole other set of problems. It can lead to misunderstandings, resentment, and ultimately the breakdown of the relationship. So you've got this shrinking pool of potential partners, and then you've got the added pressure of finding someone who's not threatened by your success. It's a lot to navigate. It's a tough situation, and it's something we need to talk about. We need to acknowledge these challenges and find ways to support women in their search for both career success and personal happiness. Because here's the thing, women should have to choose between a successful career and a fulfilling relationship. But to get there, we need to understand the challenges and start having some real conversations about how to overcome them. It's time to break down these barriers and create a world where women can thrive in every aspect of their lives. Now, I'm not saying that women with careers turn into men. That's not what we're talking about here. What I am saying is that when you spend your days in a fast-paced, competitive environment, it can change the way you think, the way you approach problems, the way you interact with the world. You learn to be assertive, to be decisive, to be, well, more direct. These are qualities that are often necessary to succeed in a high-stakes professional setting, but they're also qualities that are traditionally associated with men, and here's where it gets tricky. A lot of men, they're attracted to women who embody more traditional feminine qualities like nurturing, empathy, and emotional expressiveness. Now, I'm not saying that women with careers can't be nurturing or empathetic. Of course they can. But when you're in a high-pressure job, you often have to put those qualities on the back burner. You have to be tough, you have to be focused. And that can create a disconnect in relationships, because while men might say they want a woman who's independent and successful, they might not always be prepared for the reality of what that looks like. They might find themselves missing that softer side, that emotional connection, and that can lead to misunderstandings, to frustration, to conflict. It's a tough balance to strike. Women are told they need to be strong and independent, but then they're also expected to be soft and nurturing. It's a double standard, and it's something that we need to address. The challenge is finding a way to integrate these qualities in a way that feels authentic and sustainable. It's not about choosing one set of traits over another, but rather about finding a harmonious balance that allows women to be their full selves. This balance is not just important for personal relationships, but also for professional success. When women can bring their whole selves to work, they are more likely to be engaged, satisfied, and effective in their roles. Organizations that recognize and support this balance are more likely to benefit from the diverse perspectives and strengths that women bring to the table. It's about creating environments where women don't have to choose between being successful and being themselves, where they can be both strong and nurturing, both assertive and empathetic. This is not just a women's issue, it's a human issue. When we allow people to bring their full selves to every aspect of their lives, we all benefit. So let's challenge these outdated notions and work towards a more inclusive and balanced approach. One where everyone can thrive, both personally and professionally. Because at the end of the day, it's not about thinking like a man or acting like a man. It's about being true to yourself and finding a way to integrate all parts of who you are. And when we can do that, we create a world where everyone has the opportunity to succeed and be happy. So let's support each other in this journey and work towards a future where balance and authenticity are the norms, not the exceptions. It's a tough balance to strike, but it's worth the effort. Because when we get it right, everyone benefits. It's difficult for a woman to be strong, independent, and nurturing. I'm not saying they can't, but it isn't easy. Because when we do, we create a more inclusive, balanced, and successful society for everyone. It's a double standard, and it's something that we need to address. Together, we can make a difference. Chapter 3. The intimidation factor. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, folks. Emasculation. It's a topic that often gets swept under the rug, but it's time we bring it to light. It's a big word, but it's a real issue. Emasculation refers to the feeling of being deprived of one's male role or identity. Because the truth is, some men, they feel threatened by successful women. They see a woman's success as a direct challenge to their own identity. They feel like their own masculinity is being challenged, as this can lead to a deep sense of insecurity and self-doubt, and that can manifest in all sorts of unhealthy ways. They might become withdrawn, avoiding conversations and interactions. They might try to sabotage their partner's success, either consciously or subconsciously, creating obstacles in her path. They might even resort to emotional or verbal abuse, using hurtful words to bring her down and make themselves feel more powerful. Now, I'm not saying that all men are like this. There are many men who are supportive and encouraging, not by a long shot, but it's an issue that exists and needs to be addressed, but it's something that we need to acknowledge. Ignoring it won't make it go away, because when a woman is constantly having to downplay her accomplishments or make her partner feel more powerful, it takes a toll on her. It creates an imbalance in the relationship. It's exhausting, it's demoralizing, and it can lead to resentment, and it's not sustainable in the long run. Relationships built on such foundations are bound to crumble. Women deserve partners who celebrate their success, who cheer them on and stand by their side, not partners who feel threatened by it. A relationship should be a partnership, not a competition. And here's the thing. A truly confident man, he's not intimidated by a woman's success. He's inspired by it. He sees it as a win for both of them. He sees it as a positive reflection on her, on the relationship, on their life together. It's a source of pride, not insecurity. He sees it as a positive reflection on her, on the relationship, on their life together. It's a source of pride, not insecurity. So if you're a woman who's constantly having to tiptoe around your partner's ego, if you're feeling like you can't be your full self, then you need to ask yourself some tough questions about that relationship. Is it really worth it? Then you need to ask yourself some tough questions about that relationship. Is it really worth it? Because you deserve to be with someone who lifts you up, not holds you back. Chapter 4, Priorities and Trade-offs. Look, building a successful career takes time, it takes dedication, it takes sacrifice. There's no way around it, and sometimes that means making tough choices about where you're going to invest your time and energy. And for a lot of women, that means making some trade-offs when it comes to their relationships. They might have to work late, they might have to travel for work, they might not always be available for every social event or family gathering, and that can be hard on relationships. It can lead to feelings of resentment, of neglect, of loneliness. And if those feelings aren't addressed, they can fester and grow into bigger problems down the road. Now, I'm not saying that women with careers can't have successful relationships. Of course they can, but it takes work, it takes communication, and it takes a willingness to compromise from both partners. Both partners need to be on the same page about their priorities, about their expectations, and about how they're going to make the relationship work within the context of their busy lives. And sometimes that means making some tough choices. It might mean saying no to a promotion, it might mean scaling back on your hours, it might even mean putting your career on hold for a while. Outro: finding the balance. So, what's the answer? How can women have it all? Well, I don't have all the answers, but I do know this. It starts with honesty. Honesty with yourself about what you want, honesty with your partner about your needs, and honesty about the challenges that come with balancing a successful career and a fulfilling relationship. It's not easy, but it is possible. It takes work, it takes communication, and it takes a whole lot of love and understanding. But when you find that balance, when you find that partner who celebrates your success and supports your dreams, it's worth all the effort. So keep chasing those dreams, ladies, but don't forget about the power of love and connection. Because at the end of the day, we all need someone to share our lives with. Someone who gets us, someone who supports us, and someone who loves us unconditionally. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this content.